How you doing there? Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf Tezvav, Daf 15 of Masechet Nedarim. Friends. The standing party is over, friends. The standing party is over. Why is the standing party over? Because Lemaise, this is my second time recording this daf. Yeah, I think recently there have been some issues with the audio, and I'm hoping that it is because of the standing, because I was moving around too much. I'm hoping that that's the issue and not an issue with the microphone. But mamish, this is my second time recording this daf. I recorded it today's Sunday. I recorded it on Friday before Shabbos. Today I went to edit it. No audio. Bichlal, no audio. And my luck, mamish, all the other dafs have been like 10-15 minutes. Half an hour, complicated daf, no audio. Gornished. So, friends, I'm gonna be sitting now. I hope I won't fall asleep on you. Yeah, alright, hopefully it won't be too much babble yawning. But the good thing about, the good thing about sitting though is that when there's a babble yawn, I could just pause it. So, but anyways, friends, I think I'm gonna be sitting again. I liked standing though; it was nice. Anyways, today we're studying Daf Tezvav Masechet Nedarim. Oh yeah, it's a little complicated. Also, I recorded it on Friday, and now it's Sunday, and I haven't reviewed it since then. I hope I still remember it. Well. Alright, here we go. But then again, I did learn it once, review it, record it, and now I'm recording it a second time. So this is my fourth time learning the daf. So hopefully I still remember it. Alright. We're going to start in daf Yudal Amud Beis, okay? Okay. At the Mishnah. Konum Shani Yoshin. Or Shani Medaber, Shani Mahalech. Okay. If a fellow says, he basically makes a neder that he's not going to sleep, or that he's not going to speak, or that he's not going to walk. Fellow says to his wife that he's not going to have marital relations with her. Okay? So you better make sure that he does, right? He's got to be concerned, but he shouldn't violate. He's got to. It would be the Isser Bal Yochel Dvaru is Shaykh, right? He has to make sure not to be in violation of his vow. So he makes a vow that he's not going to sleep, he's not going to speak, walk, sleep with his wife. So Isser Bal Yochel Dvaru. So you better make sure not to violate that vow. Fine. Now, it says the Gemara. Here we go, friends. So, oh man, it was the recording was good. I had made up a word. Retroactivity, I think was the word. Now, I think I had asked the dentist to confirm, the whole shtick. I think that was in the recording that didn't record. So hopefully this is recording. Anyways, so dentist, I'll ask you a second time. Is retroactivity a word? Okay. So we're going to get into some retroactivity. Retroactive. Well, radioactive. Radioactive? That's the thing, right? Radioactive? 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 No, radioactive. So radioactive, retroactive, radioactivity, retroactivity. Right? So we're getting into some retroactivity over here. It's a little confusing, which is why it would have been nice if the recording came out the first time. Alright, hopefully it'll come out the second time. Alright, it says the Gemara, it was stated, Konam, oy vavoy, this is not bullshit. Okay, Itmar, oy vavoy. Itmar, Konam enai b'shenei ayom im ishan l'mocher, oy vavoy. Okay, who can tell me what this means? Oy vavoy. Okay, here we go. So fellow says that, he's making a neder. He's making a vow that today he's not going to sleep, but there's a kunz. There's a condition. If tomorrow he sleeps, ooh la la. You hear that? he's making a neder today that he's not going to sleep today, but only if tomorrow he sleeps. If tomorrow he doesn't sleep, so there's no vow today. If tomorrow he does not sleep, so there's no vow today. If tomorrow he sleeps, then there is a vow against sleeping today. Okay? So Idmar, we stated, Konam Einai B'Shenei Ayom. So he makes a neder that he's not going to sleep today, but Im Ishan L'Machar, that's dependent on if he sleeps tomorrow. Rav Yehuda says, Rav Yehuda Marav Al Yoshen Ayom Shem Ishan L'Machar. Rav Yehuda Marav says, well, don't sleep today, because there's the possibility that there is a vow against sleeping today. That possibility based on if you end up sleeping tomorrow. And since we're concerned that you may end up sleeping tomorrow, don't sleep today, because if you sleep tomorrow, you'll be in violation of a neder retroactively today. Rav Nachman Omer Yishan Hayom v'lo chayshinan shema Yishan l'machar. Rav Nachman says, no, you only live once, sleep today, and don't worry about sleeping, if you're going to sleep or not tomorrow. Umod Rav Yehuda, but Rav Yehuda admits, Ba'omer Konam Einai B'Shenei L'Machar Im Ishan Hayom She'ishan Hayom. But Rav Yehuda admits that if it was Punkt Vakert, if it was that tomorrow I'm making a vow not to sleep tomorrow if I sleep today. Okay? So if he sleeps today, so then tomorrow there's a vow against sleeping. If he doesn't sleep today, so then there's no vow tomorrow. He can do whatever he wants tomorrow. So Rav Yehuda says in this case, he can even sleep today, which would mean that there's going to be a vow tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow he'll just have to make sure not to sleep, because there'll be a vow. Kilo mizdayer bitnoyo aval be'isr mizdayer. Rav Yehuda's rationale being that people take more seriously a vow than they take seriously a condition. And therefore, in the first case, where he's saying that I'm making a vow today, however, it's dependent on if I sleep tomorrow. So on day one, we're dealing with a vow. On day two, on tomorrow, we're dealing with a condition. The if statement, right? If I sleep tomorrow. So people take much more seriously the vow than the if statement. And therefore, in the first case where he says there's a vow today if I sleep tomorrow, so then Rav Yehuda is concerned that if you end up sleeping today, when there isn't necessarily a vow against sleeping, because that's only dependent on if he sleeps tomorrow, so if he ends up sleeping today, Rav Yehuda is concerned that, well, tomorrow is just the condition, and he might not take the condition seriously, and he'll just end up sleeping tomorrow, which means that retroactively he'll be in violation of sleeping today, and therefore Rav Yehuda says you shouldn't sleep today because we're concerned that you're going to sleep tomorrow. Now, when it's Punkt Vakert, when it's that if I sleep today, so then tomorrow there's a neder against sleeping, so then Rav Yehuda says he's not so concerned. In that case, you can even sleep today, no big deal, because if you sleep today, so then you're going to tomorrow knowing that there's going to be a neder tomorrow against sleeping, so you'll make sure not to sleep because you'll take the neder seriously. When the neder is today, and it's dependent on if he sleeps tomorrow, well, we're concerned, right? So Rav Yehuda says, don't sleep today because you might end up sleeping tomorrow because it's just a condition and you won't take it seriously. You'll end up sleeping, which means that retroactively you're in trouble. But if you say that if I sleep today, so then tomorrow there's a vow, so do whatever you want today. Sleep, don't sleep, because even if you sleep, so then you'll go into tomorrow knowing that there's a vow and you'll take the vow seriously and you won't sleep. Okay, now we have some kashas on Rav Yehuda. You can imagine why it would have been nice for the first recording to have worked, because this is not so easy stuff to work through. Tanan konim shani yoshin, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I mean, yeah, I guess, but well, I don't know how that applies here. This is Torah Elokim Chaim. It's Chaye Olam. How can you compare this to being killed? This is Takto Punkt Fakert. It's the opposite of being killed. This is the real life. I should be thanking the Eibishter for the opportunity to be able to learn Nachamol. Says the Gemara, Tanan Konim Shani Yoshin Shani Mahalech Shani Medaber v'chulei. So our Mishnah had said that Konam Shani Yoshin. So if he makes a vow that he's not going to sleep, okay, Shani mahalech, where he makes a vow he's not going to walk. Shani medaber makes a vow he's not going to talk. V'chulei. Hechidami. No, what's the case? Ile katoni she'ani yoshein. If it's like it literally, like it says in the Mishnah, that he makes a vow that he's not going to sleep. Mi'ave nidra. That doesn't count. Ve'atanya. We learn in a brayso. Ve'atanya. It's a Mishnah. It's mamash a Mishnah we're going to learn tomorrow. Okay. Ve'atanan. Chomer ba'shvuis. Or maybe it is a brayso. Whatever you want me to tell you. Fine. Chomer ba'shvuis. Vows, oaths are more stringent than vows. Shashvuis chalus al davar sheyesh bo mamish v'al davar she'ein bo mamish. Because oaths can apply to things that are tangible and things that are intangible as well, such as sleep. Masha'ein came b'nedarim. But vows cannot apply to intangible things such as sleep. V'shein davar she'ein bo mamishu. And sleep is something that is intangible, and therefore, when the Mishnah says konam sha'ani yoshin, that he makes a vow that he's not going to sleep, and we says hareza b'val yachol devaro, hareza b'lo yachol devaro, and it's a neder that he has to be careful not to violate it. So if it's literally konam shani yoshin, that he's vowing not to sleep, but vows don't apply to something intangible like sleep. Ella, rather, dharma konam einai b'shena. It must be that he's saying konam einai b'shena. That he's not just saying I'm making a vow not to sleep, I'm making a vow that my eyes won't sleep. So now actually there's a cheftza, there's actually something physical that the vow is in relation to. V'idelo yoiv shiur. And now, okay, so he's saying that the Mishnah is talking about einai b'shena, and if it's talking about where he doesn't give any amount of time for how long this vow is going to be for, mishav kinan le ad ovar isur ba'yochel. Do we just allow him, to violate the isur ba'yochel? Meaning, if he just says, "I'm never going to sleep again," that's ridiculous. I mean, people have to sleep. It's part of the way things go. It's kind of crazy. You spend such a big chunk of your life literally just like lying. Some people sleep in a bed, some people sleep on a bed, whatever it might be. But you spend so much of your life just like lying there. But what do you want me to tell you? It's just kind of the way how it goes. Like you just gotta lie there for a bunch of your life. Okay? Well, I guess if you're just lying there, you can't be a nudnik, so I guess that's good. Anyways, so vidlo yoiv shir mishavkina le'ad avar isur bal yochel, and if he doesn't give any sort of time frame for how long he's planning not to sleep for, so then do we just like let him not sleep forever until he like ends up violating his vow by falling asleep eventually? Rabbi Yochanan says shvuah shelo ishan, that if a fellow makes a shvuah, an oath that he's not going to sleep, shlosha yom, for 3 days, malkan also v'yoshin altar, we whip him and say go to sleep. So rather, says the Gemara, de Omar konam einai b'shena lemocher im ishan hayom. So rather, what must the Mishnah be talking about? It must be talking about where in a situation where he says that tomorrow there is a vow against sleeping. Im ishan hayom. If I sleep today. If I sleep today. So if I sleep today, so then tomorrow there's a vow. And the Mishnah says that he has to be concerned about violating lo yachol dvaru. Ha'amad kol b'isur mizdahir. But Rabbi Yehuda, didn't you say that everybody takes vows seriously, right? Meaning, Rabbi Yehuda had said that the condition people might not take seriously, but the vows people take seriously. So if the Mishnah is talking about where he says, if I sleep today, so then tomorrow I'm vowing that tomorrow I won't sleep. So why are we memela assuming that he's going to be in violation of his vow? People take vows seriously. So he won't sleep tomorrow. So rather, it must be talking about where he says konam einai b'shena hayom, that today I'm not going to sleep. Im ishan lemacher, if tomorrow I sleep. Okay. So if tomorrow he sleeps, then retroactively today there was an oath, right, there was a vow against sleeping. Now, Rav Yehuda's advice in that case was do not sleep today. Because since tomorrow there's just a condition, you might not take the condition as seriously. And therefore, if you sleep today, then you might also sleep tomorrow, in which case retroactively you'll be in violation of today's vow. So Rav Yehuda says don't sleep today. V'ilo naim hayom, but if he's not sleeping today, well, if he's not sleeping today, so then Memela comes the next day, and he can do whatever he wants. He didn't sleep today anyway, so he's not going to be in violation of any any vow. So kinaim lemacher my bayachol dvaru ika. So the next day, if he sleeps, what's the concern about bayachol dvaru? Lo yachol dvaru? What is the issue? You're not violating any vow. Meaning, right? Our Mishnah says, we're trying to understand what our Mishnah is talking about, and we're saying that if our Mishnah is talking about a situation where he says that there's a vow against sleeping today if I sleep tomorrow, and Rav Yehuda is saying you're not allowed to sleep today because we're concerned you'll sleep tomorrow. So if you're not sleeping today, and that's what the Mishnah is talking about, then why does the Mishnah say that you have to be concerned about violating the vow? Why should you have to be concerned about violating the vow? You didn't sleep today. So Elalab b'denai, rather it must be talking about where he is sleeping today, and that's why he has to be concerned about the vow. Alma isay denai v'tshuvta Rav Yehuda. So we see that you are allowed to sleep today, on the day of the possible vow. So it's a kasha on, right, and dafka because you're sleeping today, that's why we have to be concerned that if you sleep tomorrow, you'll be in violation of the vow. So it's a kasha on Rav Yehuda who says that you're not allowed to sleep today. So Rav Yehuda answers no. When the Mishnah says that, when the Mishnah says that he has to be concerned about violating the vow, that's the inai, meaning no, he's not allowed to sleep today. But if he did sleep today, well then tomorrow we have to be concerned that you might end up violating the vow. Okay. Ravina Omar L'Olam K'Diktani. So now going back to the kasha of how could it be, right? We had said, right, the Mishnah says Konam the Mishnah says Konam She'ani Yoshin. He makes a vow that he's not going to sleep. And we say that it's Hariza B'Lo Yochel Dvar, that it's an actual vow. And the Gemara asked, but I thought vows don't apply to intangible things like sleep. So Ravina Amar says, Ravina L'Olam K'Diktani. No, really it is exactly like the Mishnah says, that he's making a vow against sleeping. Umay Bayachol. So what does it mean that you have to be concerned about Bayachol Dvaro? I thought vows don't apply to sleep. So Midar Abanon. Means Midar Abanon. Midar Oraise, it's not going to be a proper vow because vows don't apply to sleep. But Midar Abanon, it will be a vow and do not violate. So therefore you have to be concerned about Bayachol Dvaro, Midar Abanon. Umiika Bayachol Midar Abanon. Is there a concept of Bayachol Midar Abanon? Yes, there is. V'atanya, as we learn in the Brisa, Dvar Mutarim, things that are permissible, Bachirim Nogu Boy and Isser, and other people, I guess are machmir not to do that. So, you cannot permit them in front of them, right? If somebody's, not machmir not to do something, so then don't do it in front of that person. Shneimar li'achol dvaro, as it says, do not violate his word. If he doesn't do that thing, so then stay clear of it in his presence. Okay, so now we're going weiter with the retroactivity. Friends, you ready for some retroactivity? Here we go. Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah, Sha'at nenes li ara paisich im telchi leves avich are chog. Wow. Okay, retroactivity. So, let's say it's Purim, and a fellow says to his wife, what does he say to her? Sha'at nenes li ara pesach, you're not allowed to get any benefit from me at all until Passover, but if you go to your father's house between now and Sukkot, over the next 7 months, if at any point over the next 7 months you go to your father's house, so then retroactively, from now until Pesach, for the next month, you're not allowed to get any benefit from me. Okay. So if she goes to her father's house before Passover, well then Asura Bana also out of Pesach. So then obviously she can't get any benefit from him until Passover, right? Right? He says if between now and Sukkot you go to your father's house, so then you can't get any benefit from me between now and Pesach, and she goes to her father's house before Pesach, so then certainly she can't get any benefit from him until Pesach. So halcha lifnei Pesach asura, lo halcha lo. So we want to say, the implication is that only if she goes to her father's house before Passover, only in that case is she forbidden to get any benefit from her husband. But if she does not go to her father's house before Passover, so then she can get benefit from her husband, and we're not concerned that this condition until Sukkot will be violated, right? Rav Yehuda's thing was that people don't take conditions so seriously. So I would think that according to Rav Yehuda, even if she does not go to her father's house until Passover, still she would be unable to get benefit from him, because we have to be concerned that at some point between now and Sukkot, she won't take the condition so seriously, and she'll go to her father's house, in which case retroactively she would be in violation of getting benefit from her husband between Pesach and Sukkot, between now, which I'm saying is Purim, and Pesach. So Amar Reb Abba says, Reb Abba, Holcha lifnei Pesach asur v'loka. No, the way to understand it is that if she goes to her father's house before Passover, so then, certainly she can't get benefit from her husband, and if she does, she'll get malchus. Lo holcha, right, for violating the vow. But lo halcha, if she didn't go to her father's house, well then, asur ba'alma, meaning she can't get benefit from her husband, because we have to be concerned that maybe at some point she'll go to her father's house before Sukkot, so therefore she can't get benefit from her husband out of concern that she might, of the condition, but she wouldn't get malchus because she hasn't actually gone to her father's house, so there isn't actually any issa right now. Fine. But now, ema seifa. But what about the continuation? Achar Pesach bibal yochel dvaru. That if she goes to her father's house after Passover, so then she's in violation of the vow. But v'idelo ishani lifnei hapaisich mi ika bal yochel. But if it's like Rav Yehuda says, that she can't get any benefit from her husband until Passover, because we're concerned that maybe she'll go to her father's house at some point before Sukkot. So if it's like Rav Yehuda says, that out of concern that she'll violate the condition, she may not get any benefit from her husband until Passover, so then why does the Brisa say that Achar Pesach, if she goes to her father's house after Passover, but before Sukkot, Bibal Yochel Dvaro, she's in violation of the vow. But if she's not getting any benefit before Pesach anyways, because she's not allowed to, out of concern of violating the condition at some point, well then, what is she in violation of? She's not getting benefit from him anyways, according to Rav Yehuda. Rather, it must be that she did get hana'ah. So that she did get hana'ah, and that's why she's in violation of Bal Yochel. Alma mishane. V'tuvta to Rav Yehuda. So clearly then she is getting benefit before Pesach, and it's a kasha on Rav Yehuda who would say that she cannot get benefit before Pesach. Ki katone di'i ishane. Hareze b'Bal Yochel dvaro. No, so rather what it means is that if she gets benefit, right, meaning she's not allowed to get benefit between now and Pesach, but if she did, so then if she goes to her father's house after Pesach, she would be in violation of Bal Yochel Dvar. Tanan, okay, we learn in a Mishnah, She'at nenisli are chog. Oh my gosh. To think that I already recorded this, Tanan she'at nenisli are chog. So we learn in a Mishnah that you're not allowed to get benefit from me, right? Let's say it's still Purim, and he says to her, you cannot get any benefit from me from now until Sukkot. If you go to your father's house between now and Passover. If you go to your father's house between now and Passover, then you may not get any benefit from me all the way until Sukkot. Holcha lifnei ha-Pesach. So if she goes to her father's house before Pesach, well then, asura bana also adachaks, and of course she cannot get any benefit from him until Sukkot. Umuteres leilech achar Pesach, but she would be allowed to go after Pesach. Okay, halcha asura. So we're saying that if she went to her father's house before Pesach, so then she is asura. Lo halcha lo. But as long as she didn't go to her father's house, so then she would be permitted. But don't we have to be concerned that at some point she will go to her father's house? Right? Meaning we're saying that if she goes to her father's house before Pesach, so then she's not allowed to get any benefit from her husband all the way until Sukkot. But as long as she doesn't go to her father's house, she can get benefit from him. But shouldn't we be concerned that she might, even though she hasn't gone yet, she might go, meaning if it's the second day of, meaning there's still, 2 weeks before Pesach, and she hasn't yet gone to her father's house. So we're saying she can get benefit from him. But shouldn't we be concerned that she still might go in the next 2 weeks? So, Amar Ravi says, Ravi hu adin da afilu lo halcha asura. No, even if she hasn't gone to her father's house, she's still not allowed to get benefit from him because we're concerned that she might end up going to her father's house. Halcha asura veloka lo halcha asura be'alma. No, if she went to her father's house, so then she's not allowed to get benefit from her husband, and if she does, she'll get malchus for violating lo yachol dvaro. But if she didn't go, so then she still can't get benefit from her husband because we're concerned that she might go. But if she did get benefit from her husband, she wouldn't get malchus because she didn't actually go to her father's house yet. Meisve, we have a kasha. Kikar zo olai hayom. Alright, I cannot eat this bread today. I'm making a vow that I cannot, that against eating this bread today. If tomorrow I go to some place. Now, if he ate the bread today, so then tomorrow, of course, you should not go to this place. That's a kasha in Rav Yehuda, because Rav Yehuda would say that you cannot eat the bread today because out of concern that you might go to this place tomorrow. And yet here we're talking about when he ate the bread. So that's unlike Rav Yehuda, mikatani ochel katani, dichi ochel areze bival yelech. So Rav Yehuda would respond and say, look, it doesn't say ochel, it doesn't say he can milechatchila eat it today. He's saying ochel, if he did eat it today, so then make sure tomorrow not to go to this other place, but we're not recommending that you actually eat the thing today. No, Rav Yehuda would say that you cannot eat it today, but if you did, so then make sure not to go tomorrow. If the next day, right, so if he went the next day to this place, then he's in violation of Bayachol Dvaro. Mehalech lo, but we don't say that he's actually milichatchila allowed to go, right? So meaning, according to Rav Yehuda, right, who would say, right, according to Rav Yehuda, in a case where he says that I'm making a vow against eating this bread today, if tomorrow I go to some place. Now, Rav Yehuda would say that he's not allowed to eat the bread today out of concern that he might go to the place tomorrow. And therefore, if, according to Rav Yehuda, he's not eating the bread today, so then comes tomorrow, he didn't eat bread today, so therefore do whatever you want tomorrow. Because, go, don't go, even if you go, you didn't eat bread today. So therefore there's no problem. So therefore, if you're Rav Yehuda and you're saying don't eat bread today, so then why doesn't the Brisa just say mehalech, that the next day he can go milichatchila to this other place because he won't be in violation of the neder since he didn't eat bread today anyways? V'kasha Rav Yehuda. Amalach Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda says no, I didn't less name mehalech. No, the Brisa could have also said mehalech that milichatchila he can go to this place the next day since he's not eating today. But I the katani reisha ochal lo misne le ochel. But since the ratio was talking about ochal, where it cannot say ochel, because he cannot eat it milichatchila, so it had to say ochal, so Tani Sefer Nami halach, so the Sefer also talks about halach if he went the next day, but it could have also said mahalech, that milichatchila, he can even go the next day, because he really shouldn't be eating the first, right, you shouldn't be eating the first day anyways. Ha'omer le'isha konam sha'ani mishamshech areze b'vayochel dvaro. So says the Mishnah that if a fellow says to his wife that I'm not going to have beer with you, so then he's going to be in violation. Oh, but he has to be careful with Bal Yochel Dvaro. Right, it's a proper vow. How can he make a vow against having beer with his wife? he has a chiyuv midoraisa to have bia with his wife. The pasuk says, "Sherik susavo naso yigra." That so really, I think that this isn't talking. This is talking about a. Wait 1 second. Okay, fine. So basically, okay. I mean, I would think that. Well, the thing is that okay. I think it's kind of a funny question. Maybe there's other questions you can ask also. Like maybe this would be more of like an oath than a neder because yeah. Anyways, okay, fine. But how can this? Anyways, how would this neder be able to apply? Because he has a chiyuv midoraisa to have beer with his wife. The pasuk says she'er ksusav naso lo yigra, that he has to provide for clothing, food, and beer. Oh, okay. Oh, so it's where he says that he's not going to get any benefit from the beer. Oh, okay. Okay, so it's not that he's saying that he's not going to have beer with his wife, because he can't say that. But what he's saying is that he's not going to get benefit from the beer. And therefore, because he's not going to get any benefits, so maybe they can't have beer, because if they have beer, he's going to get benefit. So therefore, they have to not have beer. The Rav Kahana says, Rav Kahana, Tashmishi Alecha, that if a wife says to her husband that, I'm not going to have beer with you, so then, no, she has to have beer. Tishibude mishabedes, because she has a chiyuv to have beer with him. But if she says that I'm not going to get any benefit from having beer with you, well then also they can't have beer because you don't feed to somebody something that is forbidden to him. And therefore here also, if she says that she's not going to get any benefit from having beer with him, well then they can't have beer, because then she's going to get benefit, and you can't give, you can't force somebody to get, right? We don't feed somebody something that is forbidden to them. And if it's forbidden for her to get benefit from beer, so then we're not, then they're not going to have beer. Okay, friends. Well, that was, Daf Tezvav, Masechta Nedarim. Okay. Yeah, that was kind of a whole brain situation. Yeah, we talked about, so this is actually very interesting. We saw an interesting machlokas, with regard to if a fellow makes a neder against sleeping. So one way to understand it was that you can't just make a neder against sleeping because it's intangible. So you would have to say like that your eyes are not going to sleep. Alternatively, Ravina said that actually, even though mida oraisa, there would be no neder against sleeping, but mida abanon, if you make a neder that you're not going to sleep, it actually would be a neder mida abanon. Okay, then we talked about some like retroactivity kind of stuff, and then at the end we had this interesting thing with bia that we actually saw in Masechta Ksubis about making a neder against getting benefit from bia, because you can't say that you're not going to get bia because that's midoraisa, but you can make a neder and a vow against getting benefit from bia, and then memele you don't have bia because imachilin la'adam davar davar also, that you can't feed to a fellow something that is forbidden to him, and therefore if he says he's not going to get benefit from bia, then they can't have bia memele. Friends, I hope you enjoyed Daf Tezvav. I hope that the audio is normal, and peace out.